Hey, what's up with you all? It's Miles here. Seriously, when I see someone making good money and buy a new car, I'm like, oh man, why do you have to do it? It destroys your wallet. It ruins your potential to achieve financial freedom. Let me tell you why you should never buy a new car. Look, buying a brand new car is a huge ripoff. You can save yourself thousands of dollars by buying a used car instead. If you're thinking about this one, this video is a must for you to watch. I'm not joking. I'll break down the numbers and show you why buying a used car is a smarter financial decision than buying a new car. At the end of this video, I promise you will not want to buy a new car again ever. If you recently bought one, you will regret it after this video. Beware of this. It would be greatly appreciated if you would do me a favor. Please smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. I will give you a free used car. Here you go. You get your used car for free. The YouTube algorithm will recognize my channel if you just do these things. This will allow me to provide more valuable and new content and tips to you guys. Get ready for the video. It is no secret that the biggest reason that you should never purchase a new car is that you will lose its value as soon as you drive it off the lot. I am not exaggerating. In the first year after you buy a new car, the value of your car can lose as much as 20%. So, for example, if you purchase a new car for $30K and have owned it for 1 year, after that year you would have lost only $24,000. If you had used that money to invest in stocks, you could have made money in the future, or if you wanted to start a business, you might have made a profit. Not only will you lose $6,000 in a year, but you will also be responsible for continuing to pay principal and interest on the original cost of $30,000. In addition, it is common for dealerships to charge more for new cars than they are worth, which is another reason to avoid the option of buying a new car. The dealers understand that people are eager to buy new cars, which is why they are charging a premium for them as demand surges and exceeds supply. When you are searching for cars to buy, you could have waited for a few years to get them on third-party websites, such as Carfax, CarMax, Craigslist, and even Facebook Marketplace. You would have saved thousands of dollars by doing so. Buying from a dealership would suck you out. You could save a lot of money if you buy a used car that has the same features as your new car. You might find that purchasing a new car with the same features will cost you a lot more than you would pay if you bought a used car that had the same features. There's no doubt that buying a used car will save you a lot of money. I promise you that. When it comes to buying a new car, of course you will need an insurance policy, and you'll have to pay a higher interest rate when you buy a new car as compared to purchasing a used car because the banks perceive that a more expensive car implies a higher risk to them in terms of being able to earn a payment from you. As a result, they will charge you a higher interest rate than used cars. Because parts for new cars are recently released, insurance rates for new cars are generally higher. As a result, new cars appraisals for new cars are also higher than for used cars. These are the reasons insurance companies charge you more on a new car, as they believe that new cars are at a high risk for them. The question is whether that is worth it or not. If you just wait several years, then you can find a used car that will provide a much better deal for you. In case you prefer to have your car fixed at local auto parts, then that's fine. But they are probably not able to fix your new car since it is still new and limited to them. As a result, they will be able to charge you more because the parts to the car are still new and there are fewer on the market. The most parts for used cars are already readily available at local auto parts stores. You will be able to buy better parts at the best price, and you will have to pay less in labor costs. The fact remains, despite the fact that the majority of people are not familiar with the necessary tools, parts, and specifications, many of us are not familiar with how to fix our new cars. This means that you will be paying more for labor and parts, so you have to think that used cars are much better. What are the advantages of buying a used car? One of the biggest misconceptions about used cars is that they are less reliable than new cars. The truth is that this is not necessarily true. Used cars can be just as reliable as new cars. It has been shown that used cars can be just as reliable as new cars if they were well maintained or released about 3 or 4 years ago. If you wait several years, you can save about 30% to 40% on the original car's value. As a result, it may gain a little mileage, but it is not a huge amount, like 30,000 or 40,000 miles. It is still in very good condition because most used cars are previously leased cars. Most leased cars need to be well taken care of as well. In any case, they will probably be in great condition, and you shouldn't have too much trouble with them. There is nothing wrong with buying used or new cars as long as they are reliable. It still does not seem to be clear to me why so many people are so impatient and hurry to buy a new car. As I understand it, it can be tempting to purchase a new car whenever you see a new car coming to you. You may be drooling over that car right now, but you have to remember that the new car that is driving right to you in a few years will be the car that will be yours in the coming years. You should know that whoever drove that car will lose much value in it and will sell it to you. I understand that your family and friends may be pressuring you to purchase a new car. Do not worry about them, but focus on yourself and your financial goals. A used car can save you thousands of dollars that can be used to invest in stocks, real estate, and other types of assets that can help you to build and grow your wealth. If you want financial freedom, then you're buying a used car. Don't depend on your car to build your wealth unless if you intend to rent it out. I know you do want to own a car, so be patient and wait a few years until it's time for you to buy one. You can save a great deal of money on car insurance and interest rates if you buy a used car. It's natural, as used cars are much cheaper than new ones, that their insurance policies and interest rates are going to be much cheaper since banks and insurance companies are less likely to be at risk with a used car. A used car's parts are more available on the market, which means lower insurance rates. Remember that supply and demand are the same as they were in the old days. Driving a used car is a great way to enjoy life without having to worry about finances. Used cars have a lower rate of depreciation, which means they decrease in value slowly. You have a better chance of making a profit when you sell a used car than if you sell a new one. In comparison to new cars, they decrease much in value, which means you get less money back to you. Therefore, I am recommending that you buy used cars instead of buying new ones. In the end, new and used cars are still coming in with the same features, so there is not really a big difference. Although used cars are probably a little bit older, but they are still in great shape. As I mentioned earlier, used cars tend to come with a lot of warranties, certifications, and inspections, which means that there is more information you can use to determine whether a used car is a good buy or not. For example, when buying a new car, you're too excited to decide whether or not to purchase it, and you realize that the data is limited because it's just been released and nobody has really inspected or reviewed it yet. The majority of people would write reviews on new cars when they bought them, where you would be able to read these reviews in order to see if there were any positive or negative experiences with the new cars to see if they were worth buying. You can buy used cars with full confidence because you have known that they are tested and inspected by car experts or gurus, which means that you can buy used cars without any disappointments. The next one is when you should buy a new car. I'm sure many of you are curious about this one because you may be wondering when is the best time to buy a new car. If you want to find a car that qualifies for Section 179 tax deferred, then it is a great time to do so. This is a tax break that allows you to claim up to the full purchase price of your vehicle. To qualify for Section 179, the vehicle must be a new one in order to qualify. Used vehicles cannot be claimed for a deduction under Section 179. If you intend to qualify for Section 179, then you will have no choice but to buy a new car. If you do, you will have to purchase a new vehicle. In order to qualify for Section 179, the vehicle has to weigh over 6,000 pounds. Many people think that Section 179 can be claimed as a personal deduction, but it cannot be used for personal purposes. People who are self-employed or business owners, such as influencers and real estate agents, like me, can benefit greatly from this deduction. For tax purposes, I'm considered to be self-employed, which means I pay taxes after I earn money, which is very unusual for employees to do. My real estate business is an ideal candidate for Section 179 because I would use it to market and grow my real estate business. While employees pay tax before they receive their paychecks, which is also called withholding, you probably notice some professional athletes, celebrities, influencers, business owners driving a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. You probably saw it somewhere else before. The vehicle is black or white, whichever color it is, and is eligible for a Section 179 deduction that can be used to deduct up to the full price of the vehicle. This vehicle costs around $150,000. It is amazing that if you purchase the vehicle, you can deduct up to $150,000 from your tax bill. It is possible to deduct all of that income on your tax return to zero if you have $150,000 as income. Most people are not going to benefit from Section 179 in most cases. This is a great deal for business owners, investors, and self-employed people. You should talk to your CPA about this. I am not your CPA. In case you are passionate about collecting cars, buying a new car might be worthwhile because you are collecting them, so you are less likely to use them for driving because you are collecting them. This results in a low mileage. Most car collectors are very fond of cars with a low mileage. In that case, you will probably want to find current cars that you think are going to be valuable in the future. You can buy them now and then sell them at a higher price a few years later. Your plan is to have them at low mileage at the time of selling for extra profit. That scenario is pretty good. But if you intend to buy new cars for personal purposes in the future, it may not make financial sense to do so. It would be beneficial if you did some research and projected the value of your collection in 10 to 20 years if you are interested in collecting cars. It is a good investment to consider your cars as being a good investment if you anticipate that their value will be very well preserved or that they will increase slowly. When buying a car, do your own research before you buy it. If you're thinking of exotic cars like Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, or whatever it is that you've come up with, most of them have limited supply or inventory on the market. It can be made available up to 100 inventory in the world. It is well known that exotic cars retain their value well. As a result, buying an exotic car will be a great way to protect your assets and hedge your investment. If you lose your portfolio, you will be able to sell the exotic car for the same price, which will cover your portfolio loss if your portfolio goes down. A strategy such as that is more effective for those earning $1 million a year. If you earn less, then that strategy is not really worthwhile. Most Americans, I mean most of you, earn less than $1 million a year. Only about 1% of Americans have the ability to make it. If you happen to be part of that group, you can definitely try that strategy out. I think it is a great idea. If I make $1 million a year, I will not mind collecting exotic cars. That is my goal, and I am determined to achieve it. Whether you think I can do it or not, I know I can, and I'm convinced that you can, too. The truth is, buying a new car is not financially smart for you. You can save a lot of money by buying used cars and getting the same level of quality as new cars, but with lower prices. The only difference is the way the cars are labeled new and used. It doesn't matter that they are used. Just buy them. They will have similar features. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. See you next time soon.